Everybody, glad to be with you today. And I'll first share and then just ask you to confirm whether this works.
Okay. It works nicely.
It works?
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So I will try to put what Andrea said and what you are working on, circular economy, in a broader context, and then perhaps tell you something about systematic management of sustainability in businesses, and also since through SMERF project you are trying to prepare small and medium enterprises and support institutions for the future. I would say that actually the future is already here with us today, but let's start. What we will be addressing today, I will try to be as brief as possible, although the presentation is quite long, is sustainability as foundation for long-term competitiveness of small and medium enterprises or of enterprises in general. Also, the concept of sustainability as both a risk, business risk, and a business opportunity for smart enterprises. And thirdly, that sustainability requires systematic approach and collaboration between enterprises. I have spent a long time dealing with EU policies, strategies, programming and projects, both on international level and on national and local levels. But in the last 5 years, I would say I focused almost completely on sustainability for businesses. And I'm involved currently in a few Horizon projects quite similar to what you are doing within SMERF. The broader context is, of course, sustainable development, and we all are familiar with the concept, so I won't bother you much. But the point is that we cannot ignore what's happening on our planet, and the planet, unfortunately, cannot ignore what businesses are doing. So to achieve sustainable development, all companies, from the largest ones to the smallest ones, need to apply sustainability in their business practices. Actually, this should not only be practice, this should be a strategy for all enterprises. Sustainable business means a balance between profit, because profit must remain a must. I mean, for any company, profit is first priority, but profit is really nonsensical if we damage the planet and damage the people around us. Then business and profit does not make much sense. Of course, connections between enterprises, businesses, economy, and the sustainability, it's countless on many levels, different interactions, but basically you cannot find any dimension of business without at least finding one or several connections to sustainable development goals, and this is the reality. We cannot work in any field without somehow interacting with the environment and the community. Economic development must happen within so-called planetary boundaries. I don't know whether you are familiar with this concept, but basically what this concept means that any sustainable economic activity must provide for the basic needs of the people, but not use so much resources, natural resources, that it steps outside the sustainability of our planet. This is the so-called donut economy concept. And Kate Raworth, who actually conceived this donut economy model, says that the healthy economy should be designed to thrive, not necessarily and only to grow. This applies both to economy in general, but also to single enterprises. What we are luckily witnessing in the last few decades is a so-called decoupling process. Historically speaking, economic growth has been in very, very strong correlation with the use of resources. So the more we grew, the more we produced, the more resources we were using. So these two growth curves were basically identical. In the last few decades, there is a decoupling process, as I said, both in terms of resources and in terms of impacts, meaning that we still are growing and growing fast, but luckily the growth of the natural resources we are using is not increasing that fast. Why? Because we are applying principles and practices of circular economy, and we are applying new technologies. So we are on a good track. We can continue growing, economically speaking, but we are not damaging the planet as fast as we did in the last century or so, since we started with the first industrial revolution. So this is good news. We are not there yet, unfortunately. So we have to try hard still until this process of decoupling is complete, and we actually managed to find a model which ensures growth, which will not at all, but not that much be followed by an increase of use of natural resources. Andrea already showed what is the difference between traditional, I would say, linear and circular economy. But basically, it's our ability in the circular economy to reuse the resources we have started with. So basically, we use certain amount of resources, and the ones that come out of the process are not necessarily just rejected, but are returned in many ways. Different models are returned into the same process or used in different production processes. And this is graphically the representation of how circular economy works in general terms. The benefits of circular economy can be defined in three main dimensions. One is environmental benefits. The second one is, of course, economic benefits and social benefits. I don't think I need to describe them. Andrea has done already this, but these are the three main dimensions of circular economy benefits. The strategies are different. These are just three examples of a strategy a company or a group of companies can implement when trying to apply a circular economy in their business practices. Again, it's no point for me to describe, to read what's here. You can read the descriptions yourselves. But these are the main three paths your companies should take when trying to act according to circular economy principles. But now I would like to step into a broader context. As I said, why should we at all talk about sustainability in business? Because circular economy or circular practices are just one part, important, but just one part of sustainability and sustainable business. I think we are all aware that sustainability is something that concerns us all. It has become focus of the public in general, of political structures, of most importantly of financial institutions. Why I say most importantly, because we live in a world that works based on the principle where the money goes, the world goes. And we will see later on that the money, due to the new EU policy and legal framework, money is starting to go significantly in sustainable investments, and this is very good news. The sustainability is embedded deeply and broadly in the strategic and legal framework in the European Union and our countries, so national systems as well. It's definitely have been proven that sustainability provides very solid grounds for long-term competitiveness of enterprises. The market trends are obvious. You can just look at TV commercials and see how many companies use sustainability in one way or the other as part of their branding and marketing activities. And finally, what I said in the beginning, an enterprise, any enterprise, should be aware that sustainability has become both a risk for companies, but also a big business opportunity if a company is quick and smart in its reactions. What is the framework that I mentioned in the European Union, our framework? The European Union member states have decided to put sustainability at the very core of its policies. I'm not talking about one specific policy, I'm talking about horizontal approach. So strategically, the European Union has directed itself towards sustainability. I would say the strongest symbol and instrument in this is the European Green Deal, which actually is a financial program worth 1.8 billion, actually trillion euros. It's 1,800 billion euros. Most of it is public financing, but it's also some private capital. And this money is channeled, implemented through different European programs, including Interreg, which finances this the SMERF project. When you have probably noticed that whenever you apply for any type of grant, either European programs or national programs, sustainability, ESG criteria are applied when your project proposal is evaluated during a grant call. And finally, since at least 5 years, but even importantly, since this year, we have new European legislation which has been implemented or is being implemented in our national regulatory frameworks, and we will talk about it a little later on. All of this channels, or let's say, encourages strongly companies and financial institutions to invest in sustainable business practices. When a company is trying to decide whether it should invest in sustainability, there are some questions that each company or each manager or each owner should ask themselves. Why would or should I do it? If I try to invest in sustainability, is it just a one-off investment, or rather one-off cost, or is it an investment which will provide me some positive returns? Is it profitable to invest in sustainability? Can my competitiveness be increased? Can my market position be strengthened? Do I expect, or do I already experience pressure from regulators, from customers, from business partners, from investors? And most importantly, is my company obliged? Is it compulsory for my company to report on sustainability? And some companies must. Actually, all companies will have to do it one way or the other. So to just summarize what I've said until now, why a company should invest in sustainability? Because of legal obligations, because it's easier to access capital in the banks, in investment companies. You will probably get more favorable financing conditions if you are performing well in terms of sustainability. You have significantly bigger chances of getting grant financing within European programs if your project is designed to improve your ESG performance. Your competitiveness will be stronger. The market will see you in a better light. And of course, for those companies which are export-oriented, access to some markets, for instance, Scandinavia or some mature markets, it's virtually impossible if your product, your services are not provenly sustainable. Okay, so these are the reasons why your companies, you as entrepreneurs, should invest, and why support institutions should support you in your sustainability oriented efforts. What are the actual opportunities for entrepreneurs related to sustainability? First of all, investments. So as I mentioned, the policy framework, the legislation, of course, at global and European level, require a large investments in order to achieve the so-called Sustainability Development Goals, SDGs. I am sure that you have heard a lot about it. And this has been assessed to a certain number, which is approximately $7 billion US, which is quite similar in euros, until 2030. What does this mean? That a large company or a public entity, government, will invest large amounts of money in achieving higher sustainability performance. And then your companies perhaps could step in as suppliers for these investments, so you can earn from these investments. The European Green Deal provides grants. You can access grants more easily for your own investments in sustainability. The market, of course, is a huge opportunity because the market provenly requires sustainable goods and services. You can more easily access new markets. And of course, the relation between customers, your clients, and your companies is, again, provenly stronger. There is more loyalty, more attraction to customers if your company is sustainable, if your product or service is sustainable. And of course, directly speaking, savings. So if you are acting, if you have sustainable business practices, you use fewer resources, you lower your cost, for instance, for waste disposal, you get better financing conditions, you pay less taxes, you pay less insurance premiums, and so on and so on. So these are opportunities which are only a few of the opportunities that lay in sustainability for each company. Of course, it has to be planned and implemented carefully. This is, again, a very short list of ESG performance impacts on your businesses. I suppose that you know what ESG means. These are criteria that are divided, sustainability criteria that are divided in three categories: environment, social, and governance. And if your company performs well, and there are ways of measuring your performance in these three dimensions of sustainability, then you will have benefits for your business. And this is a short list of benefits. This is not something which is theoretical. These figures that are shown here are empirically proven figures by the most respectable and renowned world financial analytical institutions. But this is a very short list. Actually, the list is much longer. So this is not something that we wish for. This is something that's already happening, and this is empirically proven. I already listed these, which are the immediate results of sustainability investments. So I won't repeat myself, but this is reality. This is reality. But this reality, and okay, sorry, I wanted to show you a few examples of companies. This slide actually contains pictures of just a few Croatian companies that have achieved huge commercial success based on sustainability. Some are completely new, some are very traditional. On the top right is basically our national oil and gas company, which doesn't sound much like sustainability, but actually oil and gas companies are investing a lot in sustainable activities, biofuels, emission reductions, different other things. Companies like we have traditionally a very strong shipbuilding, ship design and building industry, and this is fast shifting towards designing and producing boats which are electric, with electrical propulsion, autonomous vessels, stuff like that. Then company that recycles plastic and produces bases for road construction, and then some other companies, wine industry, and so on. So what does this slide represent? This slide represents success based on sustainability almost exclusively. Okay, from supercars, this is a Rimac Nevera. We can discuss whether electric vehicles were actually sustainable, but this is a different discussion. But what I wanted to show you that success is really possible. These are real companies from startups to very big and very traditional companies like oil and gas and maritime industry that have shifted towards sustainability and achieved great commercial success. Of course, there are numerous examples of global companies like Patagonia, IKEA, Interface, so on, so on. Just Google and you will see many inspirational stories. I come from University of Rijeka. I just wanted to show you briefly 2 slides with projects that actually we are involved in and are closely related to what you are doing. One is Innotumare, which is trying to strengthen innovation ecosystem and actual innovation outputs in the North Adriatic region. And the second one is even larger. This is so-called North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley, which focuses on the use of hydrogen, production and use of hydrogen in the economy. So this shows you the possibility for your companies, for your support institutions to join projects which are small, like few million euros, like Innotumare, or join large projects like North Adriatic Hydrogen Valley, which is worth approximately 300 million euros. So a lot of opportunities if you decide to shift your business towards sustainability. The success I've shown you does not come easy, nor does it come overnight, spontaneously with one-off, investments. This has to be a systematic effort, systematic investments, which includes all aspects of your business, starting from adaptation of your strategy, development of sustainability management systems, development of sustainability goals, objectives for the company. You plan some investments in equipment or premises for your companies or R&D. All of these can be designed and implemented in a more sustainable way. Of course, you should educate yourself systematically. You can implement digital tools for sustainability management. You can actually hire outside experts and create jobs and revenue for other companies while ensuring higher income levels for your own company. And it's very important to understand and to remember what Andrea also said, that dealing with sustainability is not only your company, is dealing with your entire value chain. So your company, from R&D to commercial phase, your life cycle of your products and services, and of course your supply chain. This is just a cycle of sustainability management. Is basically the same as for any project management, with different, of course, elements in it. But it's again not a one-off exercise. It's something you do continuously in cycles. You have to identify the priority risks and opportunities related to sustainability for your company. Based on those, you define your goals, your KPIs. You integrate these objectives into your work processes. And then, of course, you start monitoring, measuring, evaluate what you have achieved in the given period, and then rerun the entire cycles. During this cycle, you always have to communicate with someone, either with your partners, your clients, your suppliers, with the regulatory bodies, and this communication can be just informal, or it can be strictly defined, formally defined as a obligation for reporting. I mentioned ESG. These 3 letters are like cornerstones of sustainability in 3 dimensions. Of course, environment, social, and governance. It is quite usual that when we talk about sustainability, everybody thinks of environment and stop there. And even though environmental dimension of sustainability is the most significant in terms of challenges, costs, and risks, social and governance are also important dimensions. And all three dimensions are actually evaluated when you present your project proposal for a grant financing, when you go to a bank, when you go to a new market, when you go to your insurance company. They will ask you about how your company is performing in all three dimensions of sustainability. So don't forget this. Sometimes it will be more about environment, or mostly it will be about environment, but there are important aspects in the other two pillars too. And don't forget about it when you try to deal with sustainability in your company. Okay, sorry, this is in Croatian, but what it basically says is that managing sustainability is managing risks first and foremost. So each company is different, each sector is different, each circumstance is different, each market is different, and when you deal with sustainability, you always have to assess what are the most significant risks for your company and start dealing with those. And that is, of course, a certain methodology, or not one, but several methodologies of how you define what is a significant risk. For companies, there is so-called double materiality assessment of risk, sustainability risks. One is the financial materiality, financial significance, and the other is material materiality, physical risks for your businesses. Just to make things clear, what is a physical risk for a business? For instance, you own a hospitality company and you own some restaurants, beach restaurants. Due to climate change, sea levels have been rising. The intensity of weather conditions, storms has risen, and your restaurants, beach restaurants, are exposed to much more risks of being distracted or at least damaged than before. So for a hospitality company owning restaurants on beaches, this is a material risk. And of course, the other side is how much this will cost me. And then you can compare what would be the cost of losing a restaurant in comparison to perhaps moving the restaurant in a different location or implementing some risk mitigation investments. As I said before, when you deal with sustainability, it's not only your company, it's an entire ecosystem of stakeholders around your company. And I have indicated here with this colored ellipses, in my opinion, which are the most important ones, but all are important, or all are related to your sustainability case, performance. All have impacts. You have impacts on all of them, but these which are indicated are, in my view, the most important ones. And this is also something you are not that you have to remember. You are not dealing only with your companies. What are the different dimensions of sustainability management in companies? It's the governance, how you govern your company. It is the organization. So you have to set up a certain structure with the responsibilities related to sustainability, from management level to operational level. So there has to be a clear assignment of responsibilities and tasks. Then the processes, of course, you have to design, improve, or implement new processes which improve your sustainability performance. You can implement new technology, completely new, or you can just improve the existing ones. For instance, buying more energy efficient equipment, or applying better air filters in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and so on and so on. So, as I said before, there is no dimension of your company's activity that does not relate to sustainability and sustainability performance. Nothing you do in your companies is detached from sustainability performance. This is something that I've already shown in a different format, but basically this is how we approach sustainability in a systematic way, and what are the steps to achieve a systematic sustainability management system in your company. So I won't be describing each of these steps. I think they are quite clearly defined as they are. Now we come to something that is still being I will use the term ignored by too many companies, especially the small and medium enterprises, and this is sustainability reporting. If you know, or maybe you don't, sustainability reporting, or previously it was called non-financial reporting, has been introduced in European Union economic system since 2017 with so-called non-financial reporting directive. More recently, the European Union member states have introduced new legislation. One is so-called EU taxonomy, which classifies economic activities, so sectors, in environmentally significant or less significant sectors, categories. And the other one is the newest Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, CSRD, which introduces from this year an obligation for certain categories of companies to report on annual basis on sustainability performance. What does this mean? This actually means a lot because it's a very heavy burden for companies. And this is not anymore, you know, voluntary exercise. Previously, companies could or could not report on sustainability performance. Even when they reported, nobody actually checked the numbers in these reports. But what is changing now? First of all, the new regulation includes a much larger number categories of companies. So each company, which is 250 employees or more, which has a total assets of 25 million euros and a total net income on yearly basis of 50 million euros, must report on sustainability performance on yearly basis with the financial reports based on very, very detailed technical reporting standards, very, very detailed. If you're small and medium enterprises, you might think, well, I'm lucky, I do not fall under the scope of this directive. But you are not that lucky as you might think. Why? Because not formally, but informally, this directive, this reporting obligation for large companies and financial institutions will have a domino effect and will spill over to yourselves. If you want to have a better access to capital, cheaper or better financing conditions in banks, if you want to have investments for investment funds, if you want to be a supplier of a large company, corporation, if you want to keep your existing contracts with large companies, you will actually have to behave and report in the almost same way as the large company. So even if your company does not fall formally under the scope of CSRD, the obligations of your bigger brothers and sisters will actually have this effect that you will also have to report and behave in a sustainable manner. This is describing what are these technical standards for sustainability reporting. I would encourage you, it's a very boring and frightening read, but I would encourage you to read these, to find it on the internet, to read those, because when tomorrow or this afternoon even you will go to a bank or to an investor or to a certain company that you want to become supplier of, you will receive a questionnaire that resembles in a large part and is structured based on these technical standards from the CSRD directive. So it's going to be, I repeat, a frightening and boring read, but do it, inform yourselves, because you will receive or you are already receiving questions which are based on these standards. What's in the pipeline currently? So do you see my cursor or not?
No.
Okay, but
no.
you see the slides
Yes.
well, okay? So
Yes.
the first one, ESRS, signed in red. These are technical standards which apply to the large companies, so those that fall under the scope of the directive, okay? So they have to apply these standards. There are over 1,200 data points in these standards. Luckily, companies don't have to apply all of this, but this is, again, another presentation, another story. But this, which is signed in yellow, is so-called voluntary standards for SMEs. This is about to be approved soon, I think by the end of this year or early 2025. These standards should be your guidelines in dealing with sustainability. And I repeat, these are voluntary, but I would invite you to start reading them and trying to align with them. And I would also encourage support institutions to help small and medium enterprises implement these criteria as guidance for sustainability management in the companies. The main takeover from my presentation is that sustainable business is good business, but what's underneath this statement is that actually it requires a systematic approach, investments, but these eventually pay off, and this again is not my statement as sustainability consultant or just an inspirational speech. This is something that has been extensively empirically proven by the most important private and public institutions globally. And this from my side is all. I hope I stayed within the time frame, Andrea.